Okay, this is the third night of judicial corruption. We'll stick with the same area of law, probate law. We have an estate administration with two personal representatives, co-personal representatives, executors, who disobeyed repeated court orders and were removed by proceedings of the surviving widow, who was the stepmother of the two bad co-PRs. Judge indicated a reasonable fee shall be awarded to the attorneys for the widow and held a hearing. They brought expert witness who had actually reviewed and had been at some of the proceedings of the removal. The other side, the bad guys, gathered up an expert witness of lesser note. The original expert witness was of the law firm that represented the Henry Ford estate in that jurisdiction. The other one was an attorney who was a sole practitioner, namely myself. Testimony was given. $30,000 was how much they wanted. $30,000 less one mistaken hour that was improperly put on the total by mistake was found by their expert witness, but otherwise the fee was totally appropriate, and he testified that it was. When I was brought to the stand, was voir dired to determine that I was not an expert witness in this, even though I had removed bad attorneys from being PRs, executors, and had been one of the rare times that that had occurred. The judge found me to be an expert witness, and whatever questions they wanted were asked. I later found out that of the $30,000 that was being asked, how much was awarded. Of the $3,000 or thereabouts being asked for the expert witness fee, which was due from the bad guys, how much was awarded. And I would ask you, if I were to tell you that when I found out $3,000 was awarded, and it turned out to be the fee to the attorneys for the widow, rather than $30,000, a fee that was something like 1/8 or 1/10 of what was being requested, somewhere in that range, I thought it was the fee for the silk stocking lawyer and all, but it wasn't. So I ask you, if the judge awarded only $3,000, 1/8, 1/10, somewhere thereabouts, was he ethical to do so? I will concede, when I gave my testimony in response to the attorney for the bad guys, I did indicate a number between, range between those two, the number the judge picked. I said something like between $3,000 and $3,500. I could not say without asking a few questions, which I did not have an opportunity to do, but only somewhere in that range would be a proper. And the judge actually picked a number that turned out to be in that range. So how much did the judge award to the attorney who was due a reasonable fee for his expertise in testifying as an expert witness? How much did he award to was he ethical or unethical? Was he proper or improper? Was he corrupt or uncorrupt for cutting the fee like he did, premised upon my testimony and his review, I suppose? Could he possibly be unethical for doing it? Yeah, but let's presume that he agreed with my analysis. And in that case, I must ask you, the bonus question is, how many questions did the attorneys ask after they ridiculed my experience and said I really didn't do probate and all, to an extent they thought was appropriate for me to be an expert witness? How many questions did they ask to tear apart my analysis and just give a range of approximate number of questions it would take for them to torn it apart so much that the judge ended up picking a number between the two figures I testified to when examined by the attorney that hired me, the attorney for the bad guys. So I'd like to see comments. It's a very interesting case. It shows you how abusive attorneys can be, how abusive maybe judges can be. You pick which one you think is abusive. Is a judge abusive for cutting a fee into ribbons, or is it the attorneys for asking for it? I think the answer is obvious. The answer is also obvious what a reasonable fee is for the expert witness who said the correct fee is $29,000 and something. what is a reasonable fee for his 10 hours of time. That's all for now, and I do ask that you consider standing up against corruption, standing up and asking that judges be prosecuted that are corrupt, like Nifong should be investigated at the very least.